How's it going, everybody? It's your world champion here, and welcome back to my arc review series. This series, I just, go back, watch some anime arcs or anime seasons and all that, talk about a little bit, give my thoughts on things I liked, things I disliked, and give an overall final grade of what I think the arc deserves, mainly based off the series itself. So, right now we are in our Naruto Shippuden rewatch. And we're getting to the stuff now where I haven't seen it animated yet. So there's a lot of stuff that I just haven't seen before, like especially this filler stuff that we're in. And whoo boy, we have another filler arc on our hands. That's right. We are talking about the Kakashi Anbu arc. So basically this arc talks about Kakashi as he was in the Anbu Black Ops. So it kind of tells his story through that. Now, don't get me wrong. This was an alright arc, but it also wasn't too great either. So, as I was watching the arc and when I was coming up with ways of how to talk about this, how to put it in the format of these videos, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of struggled a little bit on how to rightfully talk about this arc. So, I figured I would go off of just kind of talking about the arc and talking about some big moments of the arc, because this arc is mainly just about Kakashi coping with the loss of his friends and loved ones and using the Anbu Black Ops for that. So we'll just kind of talk about the arc instead of talking about, things I liked, things I disliked. We'll just kind of touch on them as we go along, but let's just kind of talk about this arc chronologically. So we're starting off, obviously, right where Kakashi had just killed Rin. So he's dealing with all that. We have multiple scenes, and we see this multiple times, too, in this arc, where Kakashi walks by, and we have Guy, Kurenai, and Asuma. And they always invite, especially Guy, they always invite him to just kind of hang out with them and eat some dumplings and just be merry with them. But Kakashi blows them off pretty much almost every single time. So it's just kind of dealing with Kakashi on this aspect of he lost all of his friends pretty much. The only person he has left now is, he has like people like Guy Sensei and all that, but he has Minato now, his sensei. Now, this is where something comes into play here. So we kind of get the reasoning on why Hiruzen, the third Hokage, stays the third Hokage. So, and why he stepped down and all that. So, in order to stop the third ninja war, there is a treaty signed, and part of that treaty was to have the third Hokage step down as Hokage. That's when they came out with Minato becoming the next Hokage, becoming the fourth Hokage and all that. That's great. After that, that's when Minato actually puts Kakashi into the Anbu Black Ops, because he knows something's up with Kakashi, so he's trying to give him a way to cope with it. And this actually is kind of bad for Kakashi, because he ends up becoming a cold-blooded killer in the Anbu Black Ops, and he ends up getting that epithet of like friend killer Kakashi or something along those lines. So Kakashi's getting a bad name for himself, but Minato gives him a good mission by bodyguarding Kushina as she's pregnant. Now, Kakashi's not there as she's giving birth because the third Hokage's personal Anbu are there to watch all this. So the whole stuff with the nine-tailed fox happens, and because of that, the third Hokage. So this is where things get a little weird. So the third Hokage decides he will still be Hokage, because there's nobody else in the village that could be Hokage. Nobody else that's like trusted enough within their ranks to be Hokage after Minato dies. So he just assumes the position. He's just like, I'll just do this temporarily until we find somebody. You did that for 13 years, dude. Like, no wonder Danzo didn't like you at all. Which brings us to our next point. So this is kind of done in like different like chunks of history within the Leaf Village. So we have the Nine Tails attack, and we move on to here. So this is where Danzo tries to kind of coerce Kakashi to work with him and be part of his Anbu, so be part of the foundation and all that. So he just tries to recruit him and all that. And part of that is having him work with Yamato. So him and Yamato work for a little bit in the Anbu. We do get more of them later on after some shenanigans happen. So that's another good thing in this arc too. We get some Yamato backstory as well, seeing how he survived being Orochimaru's test subject with the first Hokage's cells and being taken in by Danzo and learning to be an Anbu Black Ops person through them. Yamato ends up befriending this girl on this mission. So this entails the time where in the Leaf Village where Orochimaru left the village. So he's trying to catch him and bring him back to the Leaf Village to be not executed, to go into jail and all that. And Yamato's on the same mission as well, but since he has ties with Danzo and Orochimaru, he's kind of trying to make sure Orochimaru's fine. But that's when they meet up with this clan that lives in these caves. They have this jutsu where they can turn into fog, and they live in these caves because if their jutsu were to activate and the wind blows, they would instantly die. So this girl, Yamato, reminds her of her brother that was taken away by Orochimaru. Shenanigans happen, and basically the girl ends up dying? Yeah, I think she ends up dying from what I remember. But yeah, so Yamato and Kakashi kind of form a friendship. But a few years later, when Kakashi is he's infiltrating one of Orochimaru's abandoned lairs, he runs into Yamato, and Yamato has the mission to assassinate Kakashi, but instead he starts helping Kakashi, and then Yamato ends up attacking Kakashi again, trying to kill him and all that. So, and the reason he's trying to kill him is because Danzo wants Kakashi's Sharingan. So we have that whole plot thread to get through as well. But so we move on from that. Kakashi beats Yamato. Yamato learns his lesson about friendship and all that stuff, betrays Danzo, but ends up coming into the third Hokage's Anbu because of convoluted reasons that the third tried to do. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Moving on from that story. So Yamato joins Kakashi in the ranks of the third Hokage's Anbu Black Ops. So they go on Anbu missions as well. There's also this there's the picture with Orochimaru there. Oops, sorry about that. There's also some good filler in this as well that shows just truly how dark the Anbu Black Ops is. Guy Sensei has this interesting arc in this filler arc where he's trying to help Kakashi see the light and all that and be a better person and everything. So he tries to join the Anbu. So what they do is Kakashi, who is now under the tutelage of Itachi, so this goes into play with Itachi being in the Anbu Black Ops. So those two are watching Guy on this mission, and mission goes awry. They have to fight people die and all that. But at the end of the mission, Guy Sensei's just like, all right, the mission accomplished, let's go home. But before they go home, Itachi just stabs this one guy who's still alive. And Guy's just like, oh, he killed him. Kakashi turns over to Kakashi's killing another one. So it's showing like that darkness that they have in the Anbu Black Ops ranks. That was pretty cool. But yeah, like I mentioned, Itachi is now part of Kashi's Anbu story, and this is where it kind of gets weird, because so I know there's a later anime arc which is also an adaptation of a novel written about Itachi's story. This is where it kind of turns from Kakashi's Anbu story to a little bit of Itachi, and more of that leading into when he killed the Uchiha clan. So Itachi obviously joins the Anbu Black Ops in order to spy on the Uchiha, but the Anbu Black Ops also spy on the Uchiha. Yeah, this is his double agent thing. So we get to see the scenes of him oh, confronting Madara a little bit, and when he confronts Danzo before he leaves, saying if he does anything to Sasuke, he's gonna come back. We do get a quick scene before he leaves with him and the third Hokage, where the third Hokage is just like, I'm not gonna change the code to get into the Leaf Village in case anything were to happen to Sasuke, or you want to check on him real quick, which ties in to when he showed up in the main series after Orochimaru's attack on the Leaf Village. So we get to see that. It's kind of cool. It's weird though how they just kind of change from Kakashi to Itachi real quick, but whatever. It's all good. But still, we're having this underlying feeling with Kakashi where he's trying to learn about other people, but he's really struggling with himself still, because we still have moments where like he wakes up in the middle of the night trying to wash the blood off of his hands from killing Rin and all that, and still having flashbacks to when Obito died and everything. But it's not until he becomes a teacher when he starts to finally realize what his life and what purpose he has for it. So Guy Sensei finally gets into the mind of the third Hokage, and also so do Kurenai and Asuma as well. They all understand that, look, Kakashi, he's doing good work in the Anbu, but he could be a lot better of a person, and like he's dealing with a lot of stuff, and this isn't the best way for him to do that, because he's distancing himself from anybody. He's basically burying himself in his work. So this is the moment that the third Hokage makes Kakashi a Jonin leader, so someone that is going to raise the next generation of ninja in the Leaf Village. And we see that Kakashi, we get obviously the filler groups that were under Kakashi's tutelage before Team 7 was officially put together. So you just kind of see like his thought process, his mind, the gears turning in his mind about how he wants to teach and what message he wants to get across to the next generation. And it all just starts to click. And we even get to see a few moments of him like seeing everybody's places. So, him seeing Naruto's place, him having tea with Sakura's mom and dad, and seeing Sasuke's place as well. Even mentioning too that he's a lot like his father and Itachi. So we have the whole part with the test, him saying they passed, all that stuff. So finally realizing, but before all that though, he's walking through town and he's still his very standoffish self with everybody. He is walking through town and he stumbles across the teams that he failed. And, he's still questioning himself. He's still doubting, if he's doing the right thing or not. But he sees as these groups of kids that he failed come up to him and like thank him for what they did, being like, you taught us that our team, we did not believe in teamwork. We were like relying on our older brother, or we were all too headstrong in trying to beat you and pass this test. So we want to thank you for all of this. So that's when Kakashi realizes, I guess I am doing good. And of course, obviously with Team 7, he felt like he did good as well, even though Sasuke left the group and the village and all that stuff. But that's besides the point. So yeah, this was great. So this was a good story to show like Kakashi dealing with all this. But if I'm being honest, I'm going to give this arc a C. So here's why I'm going to give it a C. Because as good as it does a good job of telling its story. It's being like giving a deep dive into Kakashi as a person and as a teacher, and the struggle he had to go through with dealing with both of his friends dying and then his master dying. We even get to see a scene like right before he goes off to, tease Team 7 when they pass. We see a little scene of like the ghost hands just pushing Kakashi towards them. So that part is really great, but honestly, like I just kind of felt meh at the end, if that makes sense. Like, it's not that it was bad, it was all right. Like, some of the action scenes were okay. He got one up on Orochimaru. That was cool. He had an interesting fight with Yamato, but I don't know, man. Like, it was neat to see some of his perspective during like the Leaf Village history, but I don't know, man. I kind of was left wanting a little bit more from this, you know, especially when it made like that weird turn to Itachi for about 2 or 3 episodes, and the Yamato stuff was like about 4 or 5 episodes of this 12 episode arc. So it was just really weird, I guess, pacing wise for me. But you know, that was the arc. So it was, again, it was decent. It was fine. It's a C. It's a C for me. It's not that it was egregiously bad, but it wasn't like the best thing since sliced bread. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know this one, compared to the other arc reviews, is a little shorter, a little bit different than what I've normally done. Now I will say something that else might tie into this arc review being how it was. I got my second dose of the vaccine for, you know, the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. And that's what I'm calling it, so YouTube doesn't flag that, the word of what it is. So I got my second dose of that, and I ended up, because usually when I do these arc reviews, I try to watch the episodes all on Saturday. So that way, or like throughout the week or whatever. So I watched this all on Saturday. And I felt fine, but that evening, I was going to record this video then, but that evening, you know, I was just not feeling good and all that. So that might have something to do with why I feel this way, but I feel this way because I feel this way. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for getting to the end of this video. Be sure to like the video if I entertain you in any way, shape, or form. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this arc. Again, I thought it was just pretty standard in the middle, all that. So yeah, just let me know down in the comments below. Comment, subscribe, so you don't miss next week's arc review or the next Naruto arc review whenever they come out. And of course, I have other content that might pique your interest as well. So as always, people, I've been your world champion. Catch you guys in the next video. See ya. I don't need you. Better things are coming on.